Greetings, everyone. I am Machum Roy Chaudhary, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. Allow me to start by introducing my teammates here with me Pranchu Ranjan, Prem Prakash, Aditya Prakash, and Ayush Gupta. Together, we will be discussing a topic that's both highly relevant and impactful: the impact of parental and societal pressure on Indian students in higher education. Before we dive into our presentation, let me share a bit of our background on the topic. Growing up, we all experience pressure from different directions. Some of us face pressure from different our friends, some of us face pressure from our teachers, but there is one common form of pressure that almost every student face, especially in India, and can relate to it. Pressure from society and our parents. And that's exactly what we will be focusing on today. Now, I am sure we are familiar with all high expectations placed on our students, especially in Indian society. It's something that almost every student experiences. And sometimes it feels like the expectations are never ending. There's this constant pressure to perform academically, to get into the right institution, to make into right career choices, and of course, to live up to traditional ideas of success. How many of you had heard something along the lines that you must become a doctor or you must become an engineer? I know, I certainly have, and I am sure it resonates with many of us here. But the pressure doesn't end here. Even once we get into a prestigious institution, it doesn't feel like a sense of relief. In fact, it often intensifies. Now you are here, you have to prove that you deserve to be here. This constant sense of not being enough, unless we meet those standards, is something many of us are all familiar with. I was recently reading a piece of news by Dr. Radhika Sharma, a well known educator who brings to light just how damaging these pressures can be. She points out that many students experience heightened anxiety, depression, and even self doubt due to societal and parental pressure. What I found especially insightful was her emphasis on creating spaces where students can make choices based on their true interest rather than merely meeting social expectations. This really hit home for me, and I am sure it resonates with many of us. We have all witnessed many friends and peers who feel trapped between pursuing their own dreams and conforming to what to expect from them. It's not just about academic pressure, it's about finding a way to balance our personal goals and overwhelming the external pressures. To put this context, the National Mental Health Survey of India points out a concerning picture. It revealed that anxiety disorders are especially prevalent among students, those who are either preparing for entrance exam or studying in highly demanded courses. And there's the thing, beyond just grades or career outcomes, this pressure has a serious impact on students' mental well being, a subject that often gets overlooked. And this is something we don't talk about enough, but it's real. And it affects many of us. With this backup in mind, our study aims to dive deep into understanding how these pressures from both parents and society affect the mental health, academic performance, and career choices of students in higher education today. What we find more interesting is how these pressures influence students' decisions. Are they choosing paths that align with their aspirations, or they're simply conforming to societal expectations because they feel that they have no other options in their hand? In our survey, we have gathered real first-hand data that touches on various aspects of these pressures. We asked questions around how comfortable students are discussing academic challenges with parents, how societal expectations affect their mental health, and how it ultimately impacts their career choices they make. Let me tell you, the responses we have gotten so far has been eye-opening. Some of the things we got were a lot more intense than we had expected. As we move forward with the presentation, each of my teammates will guide you through different sections of our student study. We hope by the end we will have a clearer understanding of how these pressures are embedded in students' life. So once again, thank you for being here with us. We explored a topic that resonates deeply with all of us. Let's dive into our findings and share what we have discovered about the academic journey of students in India today. Now, my friend Pranchu will cover the next topic.
Hello, my name is Pranchu Ranjan, and I will be further continuing this topic today. So basically, in our topic today, the heading was impact of parental and societal pressure on Indian students in higher education. As my buddy Machumra Chaudhary explained on how stressful it can be and how depressing at times it is for the students. Well, we conducted a survey, as he mentioned. A survey went brilliantly. We performed a wide scale search. We got to know the students' responses and we got quite an excellent conclusion of it too. We got the responses we were expecting. During the survey, we prepared questions. In the questions, we had different form of scales which helped both the person conducting the survey and the one who are giving the survey. It was easy for both of us to answer the question and to help us find what we concur from it too. It really helped us to find the conclusion quite well. I will discuss about the types of scales we use for the questionnaire. We mainly had 5 scales: the Likert scale, the binary scale, the rating scale, the multiple choice scale, and the God scale. So basically, the Likert scale varies from always to never. It's a scale. Um, so basically, we had a type of question on Likert scale, which was asking about how often do we argue with our parents during school hours. We gave the choices as always, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. It was quite easy for the student to pick out on their own emotional level. This Likert scale helped us conquer a lot of things. The frequency of never was actually quite low on this. We got quite a few of always on the Likert scale on this particular question. The next one being binary, simple, classic yes or no question on how easy it is for them to answer. Like we had a question: do you feel societal expectations hinder your personal and academic growth? Many people said yes, many people said no. We have a complete survey. We have performed a full-on report on this, and we have submitted it to. You can refer to it. Third one, the rating scale. It has a option of 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with 1 as the least and 5 as the highest. We had a question of how do you perceive pressure from society and parents both based on your experience. We actually got a surprising answer of 4. Many people have had a lot of problems with their pressure receiving from parents and society, and even often peer pressure too. The multiple choice question. We had quite a few of multiple choice questions to help us find out what kind of pressure they felt. One of our questions was, how do parental and societal expectations impact your mental health and well-being? Options were quite interesting: increased stress, anxiety, depression, etc. You can select one or more options. We, I believe, had anxiety and depression quite a lot. Not together, but yes, we had them quite a lot. And last but not the least was God scale, the testament of how comfortable we are. We asked the question of how comfortable they felt talking to about parental pressure and societal pressure with our parents. Quite a people opted to say neutral. Our options were comfortable, neutral, somewhat uncomfortable, and uncomfortable. Quite a few said neutral. Most of them said somewhat comfortable, and very few said never. The scales helped us perform the survey, helped us write the report, and get a concurring conclusion. We have a full-scale report on this, which will be further discussed by Prem Prakash. Prem.
Myself, yeah. So myself Ayush, and I will be going through the responses what we got from our questionnaire, and I will be going through the each questions and explaining them one by one to you. So like our first question was what is your age group? So we primarily targeted the age group 18 to 23, which is the very relevant to our topic as we wanted to discuss what will be the societal and parental impact on the students. So 18 to 23 is the best age group for that, and our 68% of the responses were through that age group only. Our second question was like, what is your age? So the most of the students who filled the form was of male category. This may be primarily due to the female to male ratio, or maybe because of the circulation of the form, the way it was circulated. But most of the responses came from the male gender only, which was about 72 to 73%. And going to the next question, which is very interesting, which was like, what kind of parental or societal pressure do we feel or do we face today? It was a multiple correct question, like students can select multiple one or more choices. So the most of the responses that we got was the student faced academic pressure. Like it was more than 60% of the students, the people who fill the form choose this option, the academic pressure. The second most chosen option was the ethics, like what are the ethics the parents are expecting from the people or from the students, was also one of the next most significantly selected option. And other options like co-curricular activities, the students also feel pressurized by the parents for the co-curricular activities and for extracurricular activities also. So, and only very few students only choose the option low. So they are like only 1 to 2% of the students choose low pressure from the societal or parental pressure. Going through the next question, which was how comfortable the people who are filling the form, how comfortable are they with to discuss about the topics with the parents? So the answer we got was mostly very mixed in this category. Most of the people felt very neutral about sharing their problems with the parents, and most of them were comfortable with sharing them, which is a very good thing. Like they are able to share the problems with the parents, or they feel neutral about it. Very less percentage of the people, like less than 20%, felt they felt very they felt very uncomfortable, somewhat uncomfortable. So, and rest the responses was very good for this one. Another question, which is very also very interesting, was how do the parental and societal expectations ex- uh, impact our mental and health well-beings? So basically, it was a multiple correct question where the user can select more than one options, and it is very surprising and at the same time very problematic that most of the people feel very stressed about the pressure that they get from the society or their parents. The most chosen option was the increased stress, and also the people have chosen option like decreased self-esteem or anxiety, which is a very serious issue as it may impact the mental health of the people and of the students dramatically, and it can lead to degrade in their academic performance as well. So this was a question to be kept in mind and to be worked upon by the parents also. Like only less about 10% of the students only selected that they had very less significant effect on them, and rest selected like depression, anxiety, or low self-esteem. So going through our next question, which was like, do you feel that academic pressure from the parent and the society hinder your academic growth? So, as per expected by our team, almost 76% of the students chose that yes, their academic performance was hindered by them, by the society of pressure or what the society or the parents think of them. So they are very badly impacted by it, and it surely hinders their personal and academic growth. So the following more questions are there, which will be explained by my friend Aditya. So following on Aditya lead.
As my friend Ayush explained the further questions, now I'm going to explain the more questions which are related to the societal and parental pressures. So our next question was like, have you ever had to make educational or career choices based on parental or societal pressures rather than personal interest? Our responses had more number of the people saying that they didn't have to take parental or societal pressure, but still we were having a 23.5% of the people saying that they were like pressurized to take the pressure. Our next question goes on with how often did you argue with your parents during school over your academic circumstances? The majority, 43.1%, reported that they were never arguing with their parents, whereas similarly, our 43.1%, which they were never arguing, had to like not go under the pressure. The other 19.6 percentage often, while another 19.6 argued always. And we had a small population which argued sometimes, means there were mixed kind of responses for this. Our other question follows as who do you feel the most pressure from, which was a multiple choice question, and our most people responded society, which affects our most number of decisions on students. There is the parents were like 39.6 percentage. Our next question was, do you believe the societal pressure to enter IITs and AIMS is really worth being so stressed about? Our 62.7% responses were people who did not consider them as worthy, while the other 37.3% were like worthy of taking that names. Therefore, it's important to encourage a more balanced approach to education and career choices, focusing on individual interest. Our next question was, do you believe you will feel a sense of achievement after entering IIT or AIMS having worked hard for the past few years? A majority of the respondents were 72.5%, which said that they will feel a sense of achievement after entering IITs, while we had a less number of populations that did not consider. It was a majority of the yes. Therefore, it is important to consider the sense of achievements can stem from various sources, not only specific. Next question where, according to you, how can parental and societal pressure be handled in case of academics? Respondents suggested multiple approaches. Our majority of them were 66%, which responded they were more open communication, and the less was 6%, which said that no change was needed. Our last question was, how do you perceive the pressure from society and parents based on your experience? People had to rate it on Likert scale. The majority, 47.9%, perceived the pressures to be at level 3. We had a less percentage, smaller proportions, perceived at level 1. It was exactly numbered to 8.3% and 8.3%. Thanks.
Hello everyone, I am Prem Prakash. In conclusion, on the impact of parental and social pressure on Indian student in higher education reveals several to mitigate this pressure. Prevalence and types of pressure. Academic pressure. The most prevalent form of pressure with 65% of respondents indicating they face significant academic pressure. This pressure often stems from high parental expectations and social norms that academic success. And next pressure, ethical and extracurricular pressure. A notable portion of students also experience pressure related to ethical behavior, and participation on extracurricular activities. This pressure can add to the overall stress experienced by students. Co-curriculum activities pressure. About of response feel pressure to engage in co-curriculum activities, highlighting the manifest nature of expectation placed on students. And the next one, impact on mental health and well-being. Increased stress and anxiety. A significant number of students report increased stress and anxiety due to parental and social pressure. This mental health issue and severely impact student overall well-being and academic performance, decrease self-esteem and depression. The survey indicates that 47% of students experience decreased self-esteem and 39% suffer from depression as a result of this pressure. This finding underscore the need for natural health support and intervention. And the next one, influence of education and career choice, pressure, drive decisions. A significant portion of students have made educational or career choice based on parental or social pressure rather than personal interest. This trend highlights the prevalence influence of external expectation of student decision making process. Parents' social acceptance. While 76% response believe that social acceptation do not hinder their personal and academic growth, a substantial minority feel otherwise. This suggestion varying levels of realizing and adaptability among students. And the fourth one, strategies to mitigate pressure. Open communication. The most commonly suggested strategy for hiding pressure is fostering open communication between student, parent, and educator. This approach can help in understanding student and providing the necessary support. Counseling service and parental awareness. Better counseling service and increased parental awareness are also critical and addressing the negative impact of pressure. These measures can help in creating a more supportive environment for student. And fifth, perceived value of a prestigious institution. Sense of achievement. Deposit the pressure. 72% of respondents believe they will feel a sense of achievement after entering present institute like IIT or AIMS. This finding highlights the aspirants' value association with this institution thought. It also to point the need for a balanced approach to educational aspirant. And this topic for in this topic recommendation. Based on the finding, the following recommendation are proposed to address the impact of parental and social pressure on student. First one, enhance communication. Encourage open and honest communication between student and parent to better understand and support student academic and personal goals. And second one, provide mental health and support. Implement comprehensive mental health support system in educational institute to help students cope with stress, anxiety, and other mental health issue. And third one, promote diverse paths to success. Shift socially attitude to recognize and value diverse educational and career paths, reducing the undue emphasis or on institution. And fourth, increase parental awareness. Educate parent about the negative impact of expense pressure and importance of supporting their children's individually interests and aspirants. And fifth one, strength counseling service. Enhance the availability and quality of counseling service in school and colleges to provide students with the necessary guidance and support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This will be all for